Hey everyone, what's going on? I'm the Watchman Van, and welcome back to the channel. You guys feel it in the air? You guys feel it? Summer is coming. So what does summer mean? Summer means it's time to review a lot more dive watches. So today on the channel, we're taking a look at another Seiko. Now, I've had this Seiko for about a week. I absolutely love it. It's a Seiko diver. No, it's not the SKX or anything like that, but it is a Seiko 5, and that is the Seiko Sport SRPD93. This is probably one of the cheapest diver watches that Seiko has released. I think they came out with the Seiko 5 Sport line a little over a year ago, something like that. This watch is absolutely beautiful. It has a lot of features, and we're going to be going over them today in this review. And if you guys are new here, please consider subscribing to the channel and giving this video a big thumbs up. I post watch reviews, top 5 lists of watches, and anything watch related. Without further ado, let's get into this review. Alright, so here is the packaging for the Seiko Sport SRPD93. You guys already know how much I absolutely love Seiko and their design and the quality, especially their movements. I love their movements. So let's get straight into this unboxing and review. Now on the top it has a MSRP of $295. I got mine for $210 on Amazon, so if you guys are thinking about buying this watch, you can go ahead and pick it up in the description below. Tag, the watch itself in this box, and then we also have some user manual and warranty cards in the box. Oh yeah, here we go. Alright, before we get too in-depth on this watch, let's actually talk about some of the dimensions on this watch. We have a case diameter of 42.5 millimeters. We have a case thickness of, well, Amazon says 13.4 millimeters, but to be honest with you guys, it kind of looks a little bit more like 12.5 millimeters, maybe 12 millimeters. It looks really thick, but it doesn't feel that thick on your wrist. We have a lug width of 20 millimeters. It might be 22. I'll put on the side over here on the right. And it's also powered by, I think, a caliber 4R36A movement. Movement is hacking and hand winding. That's why I love this watch. All right, so let's talk about the dial. So we have a 120 click rotating bezel. There we go, and it lines up just about perfectly, in my opinion, at the top with the 12 o'clock position. A lot of cheap watches, the bezel won't align, and that will annoy the heck out of me. Like, if you put it at the top, it might align over there or maybe a little closer, but with this one, it aligns perfectly, and I absolutely love that. So onto the dial of this watch. It's a pretty standard layout for a diver watch. All of the indices are kind of circles, and then at 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 12 o'clock are really the only different ones there. On the hands of this watch, I really like the hands on this watch. The hands are really big and just really easy to see, especially if it's nighttime or it's maybe sunset and you can't see the watch that well. The hands are just so big you can see them just from looking at your wrist instead of having to maybe put the watch up close to your face. You can really see them from far away. Now the color on this watch is just stunning. I mean, the bezel is like, it's so perfect in my opinion. It's a little bit metallic-y, but it's also matte at the same time. And then on the dial, the color of the dial, you may not be able to see it that well, but in my perspective, it's almost like a 33% blue, 33% black, and 33% gray. And if you kind of look at it, the light will capture it. You know, it just looks absolutely beautiful how it can change colors like that. Over at the 3 o'clock position, we have the day of the week and the day of the month over here. And how we change those is we pull the crown out halfway, and we twist it towards us. And that will change the day of the month, and then we twist it forward, and that will change the day of the week. Now, speaking of the crown, you think for a 100-meter waterproof watch that it would have a screw-down crown, but it actually doesn't, surprisingly. It is hand winding, a hand winding and hacking movement, but no screw down crown. That kind of disappoints me because I'm a little nervous to even go in the water without a screw down crown. Onto the metal and the polishing on this watch. I love this too about this watch on the top here. It's kind of thinly brushed, I think the case is stainless steel, thinly brushed stainless steel that kind of angles toward the band just a little bit on the top of the lugs. And then on the side, we have a bit of a rounded case. So the metal is rounded and it's also very finely polished, almost looks like a mirror, it's so reflective. And then on the case back, we have more of the finely polished metal. Onto the strap of this watch. This is the strap this watch came with. I don't have any NATO straps at the moment to put on this, but I would really like to see this on maybe a blue NATO strap or an orange NATO strap, something like that. Now, Seiko is known for having a great watch with a great movement and a really shitty band, but this band isn't actually all that bad. It's either rubber or silicone. It has kind of like the mesh type of pattern right there, and it stretches a good bit. It's very comfortable. You don't even really notice it's there at times, and I'm not gonna lie, it's a pretty good band for Seiko. I'm honestly surprised that the band is that decent quality. Onto the case back of this watch. It is a standard type of display case back, so you can see all the mechanics going on in there. And on the rotor, we actually have the Seiko 5 branding. Nothing too special about the case back. This is pretty standard for all of Seiko 5's models with the display case back. Here is the watch on my 6.5-inch wrist. I was honestly thinking this was going to look really big and bad and chunky on my 6.5-inch wrist because it's about 42.5 millimeters in diameter, but it fits my wrist so well, and it kind of hugs it with the curved end, the curved lugs right there. And it's also the lug to lug distance is a lot shorter than most watches, and that's why almost any wrist can really pull off this watch without making it look too big and chunky. One more thing about this watch, I have to show off the Lume Shot, so let's go ahead and go over to that. So as you guys can see, here is the Lume Shot for the Seiko SRPD93. We have all of the indices lit up in this beautiful kind of aquamarine, minty blue type of color. We have Lume on all the indices and the minute hand, the second hand, as well as the hour hand. So there you guys have it. That was the unboxing and review of the Seiko Sport SRPD93. Now, one more thing I forgot to mention about this watch is that it actually has a hardlex crystal, so that means it can scratch, but it's almost completely shatterproof, unlike a sapphire crystal. But for my own personal thoughts and opinions, I really like the style of this watch. I love everything about it. I love the 120 click rotating bezel, the color, oh my god. The color on the bezel is just beautiful, and then the color on the dial is also beautiful. If you catch it in maybe direct sunlight or you catch it just right with the light, it looks beautiful, absolutely stunning. And the lume on this watch is just absolutely beautiful. We got that aquamarine type of color, almost minty blue color going, and it's also really easy to see at night, and it's very bright and brilliant. My only complaint about this watch is I wish they would have put a screw down crown on this watch with a gasket on there too, to maybe make it 200 meters waterproof instead of 100 meters waterproof. But it's a $210 Seiko 5, so I'm not complaining. If you guys want to pick up this watch, all you have to do is click on the link in the description below, buy it on Amazon for $210, and if you guys click the link below, I will get a very small commission, and you guys will be paying the same price as anybody else, so it's a really great way to help support this small growing channel. If you did enjoy this video and you love watches as much as I do, please consider hitting that subscribe button and giving this video a big thumbs up. It would be greatly appreciated. That's all for this time, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye, everyone.